Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Irene and today I'll show you some makeovers of plastic bubbles to add some chic to them. My first makeover is really simple. Remove the holder from all bubbles and draw some drips radiating from the top with hot glue. Start from the lowest drips and then gradually move upwards, making the second and, if necessary, the third row of drips. You can start above or below the middle of the bubble, depending on how much gold you want to see on the finished bubble. After the glue hardens, paint the bubbles gold with aerosol paint. Use some shiny paint like Krylon Gold Foil Metallics to get the best result. After that, paint the lower part of the bubbles in the selected color. By the way, the gold paint turned out to be very smooth and painting over it was quite a task for me. Chalk paint rolled off it, I had to prime and then paint. I did something similar a couple of years ago. I had a black candle holder with golden drips of hot glue and I really wanted to reproduce this technique in combination with white and gold. This time I decided to make 2 bubbles white and 2 black. I had here to paint between the drips with a thin brush and this took quite some time. When I was making a candle holder, I gilded the drips with gold leaf. But of course, not everyone has gold leaves and special glue, so both variants will do. If you know how to use gold leaves, gild the drips. If not, paint them gold. Now all we have to do is to make holders. I took gold jewelry rings and some wire. I didn't have gold-colored caps, so I took wooden ones. I'm bending the wire in a loop, thread the ring into the loop and thread it into the cap. Then I'm unbending the ends of the wire and secure them with a drop of hot glue. Plastic bubbles are lightweight and such holder will be okay for them. After that, I'm also painting holders gold. After drying, hot glue the holder onto the bubbles and admire the result. These gold dripping bubbles look very cool. Of course, black color for Christmas tree for someone may be a strange choice, but now I can see a lot of black Christmas tree decoration on sale. They are becoming popular and combined with gold, black may look very festive and bright. But of course, you can make the whole set white or colored. I'm sure that they will look gorgeous in a blue version, for example. The next set of decoration is in vintage style. This will require rather large bubbles. Try to choose those with no glitter or other decor on them. I wasn't lucky to find such. I'm also removing the caps and sanding all the glitter off my bubbles. This took quite some time. Green bubbles also had some rhinestones. I took them off with a sharp knife. You want to sand till the bubbles are completely smooth because later everything will show through the paint. After that, wipe the bubbles with a damp cloth to remove the remnants of glitter and dust. I'll make bronze holders for these bubbles in the style of old-time ones. To do this, I took bronze wires, rings and bead caps. I had to use a small cap and a larger connector because I didn't have large enough caps on hand. This is, of course, a complicated way. You can buy ready-made caps in similar style at AliExpress, for example. I'll link some of them in the description box below. Now you can start decorating. Here I got really nice molds of snowflakes and I'll be using them. I'm making the snowflake from a self-hardening clay. Taking it out and poke a hole in the middle. Now put the snowflake over the top of the bubble, add some white glue or Mod Podge and press the snowflake gently to attach it to the bubble. After that, I'm hot gluing the cap with the ring into the hole of the bubble and pressing the cap into clay so that everything sets well, and then put it off to dry. Now repeat with other snowflakes and bubbles. I have here 4 bubbles and 4 different snowflakes. This will make a nice set. Of course, you can use a variety of elements for decoration. You can add clay feathers or leaves over the top, or stick small elements to the sides of the bubble, but then do it symmetrically on every side so that bubble then hangs evenly. Otherwise, one side will outweigh the other. After the clay has dried, I'm painting the bubbles. I decided to make this set in blue colors. I'm painting 2 bubbles in mint. I used here chalk paint to have a deep matte and more textured surface. At the same time, it sticks well to plastic. I applied 2 layers with a brush, and the last one I applied with a sponge to make even surface without brush marks. I painted the other 2 bubbles in a deep blue-green color. After the paint has dried, I'm dry brushing tops to emphasize the relief. I tried here 2 colors, bronze and silver, and in the end I have a mixture of both. And at the very end I cover the bubbles with matte varnish. The bubbles turned out to be really very similar to the antique ones, like being sold now at Pottery Barn or Restoration Hardware, and they'll complement perfectly a vintage Christmas tree. The only thing I don't really like is that my self-hardening clay is quite heavy for the bubbles. I would prefer them more light, so better if you use some lightweight self-hardening clay. We'll try to find some variants online, as well as nice molds for this kind of decor. For the next makeover, I took a package of these carved bubbles. Remove the holders as usual. I had a burgundy and pink flocking powder since last year. I had bought it for restoration of vintage Santa Claus, so I decided to use this powder and make velvet bubbles. I picked paint of similar color and painted 3 bubbles in burgundy and 3 in dusty pink. Pink doesn't quite match the flock, but I didn't have a ready-made pink paint of the desired shade, and I was too lazy to make it myself. As a primer, I thought this color would be okay. By the way, to speed up the process, I dried the burgundy bubbles with hairdryer and the paint crackled after drying, so if you don't want this crackle effect, dry it naturally. Then I'm taking the flock. I'm applying some glue over the bubble. This time I'm using glue for gold leafing, but Mod Podge will also do. Wait until the glue becomes transparent and sticky and powder it with flocking powder through a strainer. There's not much mess because the bubbles are small, just do it over a sheet of paper or something. I almost forgot. Operator, could you please hold my bubble for a second? Thank you. After powdering, to make the coating more dense, pat the flocks with a gloved hand. This will make it stick better. If desired, you can even apply a second layer of flock after the first one dries to make it more dense. You may want to know where to find flocking, of course. I'll link possible sources below. This powder is used for nail design and therefore is sold at AliExpress in a range of colors. Of course, you can wrap the bubbles in real velvet fabric, but I really like that you can emphasize the carvings of the bubbles and at the same time you get no folds. In burgundy, it turned out to be almost like suede in appearance, unusually pleasant to the touch. Pink flock was a little bit too bright for my taste, so I added a little burgundy to the pink flock and they mixed perfectly. Just sift together 2 colors over the sheet of paper and use the resulting color. I got a muted shade that suited me better, although in the video the difference seems not very noticeable. After that, wait until the bubbles are completely dry, brush away all that didn't stick and you can start decorating. This time I didn't replace holders, but decorated them with plastic pearls of suitable color. I also wrapped the top of the holder in a thin ribbon and added a bow. And of course changed the ribbon. Satin ribbon looked gorgeous on a velvet background, so you can make even bigger bows to accentuate velvet bubbles. I came across this kind of bubbles at Anthropology, I think, and large velvet bubbles of deep saturated colors of precious stones look very beautiful. They got some emerald, dark blue and burgundy bubbles, and you can easily reproduce these at home at a fraction of price. Thanks for watching and hope you liked the video, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell in order not to miss my new videos. Have a great day and bye!